I told you in episode 4 that I searched for Vera Lane and found 3 results: a theater review from 1943, a magazine notice from 1946, one photograph. I told you I did not search for my career's future. Both of those things were true. I did not tell you everything. What I did not tell you, after I read the Wikipedia article about Jack, after I found what I found, after I closed the article and sat with the device for 20 minutes and then put it in the box, I did something that I did not describe in episode 7. I picked the device back up. I opened Wikipedia. I searched for my own name. I need to explain why I searched for myself, because the why is not obvious, and the why is part of what I want to say. I had just found a death year for Jack. The finding of Jack's year did something to me that I have been trying to describe accurately. It made the future visible in a way it had not been visible before. Not the future in general, the specific future of specific people, the years that wait at the end of the lives I am currently inside of. Jack's year, before 1970. And then I thought, I also have a year. Somewhere in Wikipedia, or not in Wikipedia, somewhere in the record that the device contains, there is either a page about me or there isn't. There is either a year or there isn't. I had told myself in episode 4 that I would not search for my career's future. I framed this as, I don't want the outcome to annotate the present. I don't want to live the career as a known destination rather than as an open road. But that was about the career. This is different. This is there a Wikipedia article about me? And if there is, does it have the information box? And if it has the information box, does the information box have a death date? The logic of not searching was about the career. It was about not knowing whether the work I do leads somewhere significant. It was about the professional outcome. The logic that made me search was different. It was, if there is a year for Jack, then there is a year for me. And I have been talking to you all year, in these episodes, in the First Time series, in the specific practice of directed attention that these conversations represent, about honesty, about looking at things without flinching, about the both things are true that requires acknowledging the difficult alongside the beautiful. How could I tell you about Jack's year and not tell you about mine? How could I sit at this table and describe what I found in the device about everyone I know and omit the thing I found about myself? I searched. I expected to find nothing. In episode 4, the Google search for Vera Lane had returned 3 items. 3. A theater review, a magazine notice, a photograph. None of them substantial. None of them the kind of entry that produces a Wikipedia article. Wikipedia articles tend to exist for people who have achieved a certain level of public recognition. Actors with substantial filmographies, musicians with influential recordings, writers with published books. My career, at 33, is a working career. It is not a career that would obviously produce a Wikipedia article. I expected no page. I expected to search, find nothing, and close the application with the specific relief of not in the record. Unknown. The career did not produce the documentation. The record does not have me. This is what I expected. This is not what I found. There was a Wikipedia page. Not a large page. Not the length of the Parker article or the Robinson article or the Hepburn article. A modest page. The length of the stub that contained Jack's information, perhaps a little longer. A page that had been created and had received some attention. Someone had written it. Someone else had expanded it. The specific collaborative process that Wikipedia uses had produced a page of perhaps 4 or 5 paragraphs, plus the information box. I read the paragraphs first. I am not going to tell you everything the paragraphs said. Some of what they said is about the career, And I have decided not to look at the career's future, and the paragraphs contained some of the career's future, productions I have not yet been in, years I have not yet lived. I read past the career information quickly, the way you move through a room where there is something you do not want to see, eyes forward, not stopping. I reached the information box. Name: Vera Lane. Born, 1916, New York City. The birth information was correct. The specific detail of the birth year, 1916, was there. I had been born in 1916, in New York City, and the record knew this. And then, died. A year. I looked at the year for a long time. I want to tell you the year, and I want to think carefully about how to tell it. And I want to make sure the telling serves the episode rather than the episode serving the telling. The year. I will say this much. I was old, not young, not taken before I had been whatever I am going to be. Not like Parker, who was 34, whose body aged decades faster than his years because of what he put it through. Not like Robinson, 53, a man who had spent his health on something worth spending it on. I was old. The year was far enough away that the distance is itself information. I had time. Not unlimited time. No one has unlimited time, and the device made clear to me in episode 7 that the time has a number attached to it, that the open road eventually reaches a destination. But time. A substantial amount of time between now, 33 years old in April 1949, and the year in the information box. I was old. I worked for a long time. The career that I refused to search for in episode 4, the career I wanted to live as an open road rather than a known destination, continued for a long time. This is what I will tell you. Not the year, not the specific span, but I was old when it happened, and the career continued, and between now and then there is time. I want to describe what I felt when I read the year, because the feeling is the content of this section, and I want to record it accurately rather than in the managed version. First, relief. The specific physical relief of someone who has been holding their breath and has been told they can breathe. Not immediately. The first few seconds were still and quiet, the processing of information at a speed below the verbal. But then, relief. I was old. I had time. The career continued. The life extended beyond the narrow present of April 1949 in ways that were good, or at least long. Second, something more complicated than relief. The relief was clean for about 3 minutes. Then it became complicated by the knowledge that I now knew. I had refused in episode 4 to look at the career's future because I wanted to live it rather than verify it. I had found it anyway. I had not looked at the career deliberately. I had looked at the year. But the year was in the context of the career page. And the career page had information I had passed by, but had seen. I saw it. The open road now has a shape I know. Not completely. Not in the detail of which productions, which years, which specific choices, but in the general shape of, this is where the road goes, approximately, in the aggregate. The open road is still open, but I know more of its shape than I wanted to know. Third, something I did not expect to feel. Sadness. Not for myself. I was old, I had time, the life was long. Sadness for myself would be disproportionate. For Jack. I was old. Jack was before 1970. We are the same age. He is 4 years older than me, which, at our ages, is nothing. We sit across from each other at Connolly's on Saturday evenings, and we talk, and we are the same generation, the same era, the same specific New York of the late 1940s. And the years are not the same. My year, far away. His year, less far away. I sat with this disproportion for a long time. I will tell you one more specific thing. The information box included, alongside the death date, an age at death. The age was high. I will not say the specific number. I will say it was above 80. Above 80. I am 33. The distance between 33 and above 80 is more than I can easily hold. More years than I have already lived. More time than I have spent on Earth so far, ahead of me still, available. And I thought, I am going to grow old. Not old in the sense of diminishment. I have had complicated feelings about aging all year. The specific professional complication of being an actress in a culture that has narrow ideas about what actresses of various ages are for. But old in the simple, factual sense of, many years from now, I will be very different from what I am now. The person who will die at above 80 is not the person who is 33 in April 1949 in any simple, continuous sense. She is what I will become after decades of becoming. She is the accumulated version of the choices I am making and will make. She has lived through things I cannot yet imagine. She is me, but she is also beyond me. I am going to become someone I cannot currently know. This is always true. The information box made it specific. I want to account for what I did not read. The Wikipedia page had several paragraphs about the career. I moved past them quickly, eyes forward, not stopping, but I was not completely blind to them. I saw words, saw headings, saw the shape of the account without reading the specific content. What I saw in passing: a mention of work in the 1950s, a mention of work in the 1960s, a mention of something that might have been a significant production. I did not read it carefully enough to know which one. A mention of a name I recognized in the context of a collaboration. I saw the shape without the specifics. The shape is, the career continued. Into the 1950s, into the 1960s, beyond the period I am currently in. I had been afraid, without entirely knowing I was afraid, that the career might be something that ends soon, that the working actress of 1949 would become a different thing by 1955 or 1960, that the road would narrow or close. This is not an irrational fear. I described the window for actresses in the First Time series, the specific way the industry narrows what is available as an actress ages. The career page suggested, the career continued. Not the details, not the shape of success or struggle, not whether the road was smooth or difficult, but continued. The actress kept working. The actress grew old working. I want this. I have always wanted this, in the specific way you want the thing you have built your life around. Not in the abstract, not as a dream, but as the specific, practical content of your daily existence. I wanted to keep doing the work until I was old enough that the work itself was the argument for continuing. The career page said, yes, that. I closed the Wikipedia page. Not immediately. I sat with the information box open for perhaps 10 minutes, not reading anything further, just sitting with the fact of the page existing, with the year in the box, with the age. Then I closed it. Then I did something I have not done before with the device. I went to the camera, the front camera, the one that shows my own face, and I opened it. I looked at myself. 33 years old, April 1949. In the kitchen at West 54th Street, in the lamplight, with the geranium behind me on the windowsill and the street below the window and the city doing what the city does on an evening in April. I looked at myself for a long time. The face in the camera, 33. The face in the Wikipedia information box, above 80. The same person. The distance between them, most of a life. I thought about the slow motion episode, the geranium breathing, the water drop throwing its sphere, the pigeon's wings in flight. I thought about what the slow motion shows, the things that are always happening at a speed we cannot normally see. The aging that is happening right now in my face is exactly like this. It is happening at a speed I cannot see. The cells dividing and dying and replacing themselves. The specific slow processes of becoming older, which happen continuously and which are invisible in any single moment, and which add up over decades to the face in the information box. The slow motion of the years. I am in the slow motion right now. I simply cannot see it. I want to tell you about the conversation I wanted to have and could not have. I wanted to ask the person in the information box, the above 80 Vera, the Vera who has lived through what I have not yet lived through. I wanted to ask her, what was worth it? Not what happened. I can find that in the Wikipedia article, in the career page, in the specific entries that the record contains. What was worth it? What of the things I am doing and thinking and caring about in April 1949 turned out to have been the right things to care about? What of the things I am worrying about turned out not to matter? What I did not know was coming that changed everything. I cannot have this conversation. The device can show me the information box. The device cannot show me the interior. What the above 80 Vera knows about being 33 in 1949 is knowledge that went one direction, from the experience of living it to the understanding of what the living produced. It did not go backward. She cannot send the understanding back to me. I cannot receive it, even if she could. The conversation is impossible. What I have instead, the knowledge that she exists, that I will be her, that the specific work of being 33 in April 1949, with the specific confusions and fears and hopes and the specific daily texture of the life I am in, this work will produce, eventually, the person in the information box. I cannot ask her what was worth it. I will find out by becoming her. I have been thinking about time all year. The telephone episode, 4 milliseconds across 790 miles. The letter, weeks. The gramophone, a moment from the past played in the present. The bomb, the specific irreversibility of what has been done. The slow motion, what happens inside the second, invisible at normal speed. And now this. The information box, birth year, death year, the span of a life reduced to 2 numbers, and the span of my life, from 1916 to a year I am not going to say. What I understand about time differently now is this. Time is not a line. I mean this precisely. In the standard understanding, time is a line you move along. You are at a specific point on the line. Behind you is the past, ahead of you is the future. You move forward continuously and cannot go back. This is how time feels. This is not entirely what time is. The information box showed me both ends of the line are available, the birth date and the death date. Both knowable. Both in the record. The line has 2 endpoints, and both endpoints can be seen from outside the line. I am inside the line. I can only see backward. But the endpoints are visible from outside. Someone in 2026 can see both endpoints of my line. My birth year and my death year. The span of my life. 2 numbers. And from inside the line, I cannot see the second endpoint. I can only see the first. I am moving through a span of time that has, from outside, a known length. From inside, open. The openness is not an illusion. The open road is real. I do not know what the years between now and the information box will contain. No amount of Wikipedia reading can tell me that, and I have chosen not to read what I can find. The years are genuinely open to me, and they have a number. Both. I want to think about this specifically from the perspective of the work. I have been an actress for 20 years. The work involves, among many other things, the specific practice of being present in a role, of inhabiting a character fully, of not managing from outside, but being inside. The Bogart principle, the Brando thing, the Parker method translated into acting. This year, I have been thinking about presence as a practice, as the thing that distinguishes the best performers from the merely competent, the not managing, the being inside. Now, I have the information box, and I want to say something about what the information box does to the practice of presence. It seems like it should, make presence easier. If I know that the above 80 Vera exists, that the career continues, that the road has length, I should be able to relax into the present more easily. Less fear, less the specific anxiety of not knowing whether the work leads anywhere. Less management. And yet, what I find is not easier in the way I expected. Different. The presence I practiced before the information box, the presence of not knowing, of being in the moment because the moment is all I have, because the road is open and I am on it. The presence I practice now, the presence of knowing that the moment is one of many. That this Tuesday in April is one of a series of Tuesdays that extends further than I expected. That the being here is not the last being here. These are different qualities of presence. I do not know yet which is better. I know they are different. The actress who does not know if she has time, present from urgency. The actress who knows she has time, present from what? From choice, from deliberateness, from the specific attention that comes from knowing the time is there and deciding to use it fully. Both present. Different qualities. I went to the windowsill after I closed the Wikipedia page. The geranium was there. Red. Moving at its imperceptible speed, doing its slow-motion breathing, responding to whatever was happening in the room at whatever speed it responds at. I stood there and looked at the geranium, and I thought about Mrs. Petrova, who gave it to me because she had too many, who has been tending geraniums for 40 years, whose Budapest geraniums came to New York on a ship that is long gone, who is in her late 60s, and who I have not searched for in the device because some things I am choosing to leave as hopes. I thought about the geranium's own information box, not the Wikipedia article. The geranium will not have a Wikipedia article, but the geranium's own version of the information box. A birth of sorts, and a death. The geranium will die. All plants die. This one will die. The specific red geranium on my windowsill on West 54th Street will die. And when it does, the red will be gone. But the line. The geranium's line continues through propagation. The cuttings, the new plants started from the old, the Budapest lineage carried forward. The specific geranium dies. The geranium continues. And I thought, maybe this is also true of me. Not in the literal biological sense. I do not have children, and I am not planning this particular form of continuation, but in the sense that the above 80 Vera will have done things that continue, will have been in the room when things were made, will have contributed in the specific way of someone who was present and attending and doing the work to things that will continue past the year in the information box. The specific Vera dies. What Vera was part of continues. The line continues through what it was part of. The geranium knows this already. In episode 7, I described my decision about Jack. I will not volunteer what I know. If he asks, I will be honest, but I will not bring it to him. I have been with Jack twice since I found both years, his and mine. Saturday at Connolly's, Wednesday on the telephone. He did not ask. I did not volunteer. We talked about the things we talk about. A production I am in rehearsal for, something he is working on, the city, the specific week. Normal. And underneath the normal, what I know. I want to tell you something about this. Being with Jack, knowing what I know, knowing that he does not know what I know. This is the specific experience of loving someone in time, which is what all loving is. We always know different things about each other. We always have different relationships to each other's futures. The doctor knows something the patient doesn't. The friend sees something the other friend can't see from inside. The lover knows something about their beloved that the beloved, looking at themselves, cannot see. We are always asymmetric. What the device has done is given me a specific numerical asymmetry. I know the approximate shape of the time remaining. He does not know what I know. We sit across from each other at the bar. He folds the newspaper and puts it down and looks at me and says, "Tell me specifically." And I tell him specifically. The things that can be told. Not the year. The year is mine. His year is his. We tell each other the things that can be told. I have decided what I am going to do with the information in the information box. Nothing. I do not mean this as abdication. I mean it as the specific decision that the information does not change what I was going to do anyway. I was going to keep working. I was going to come to Manny's on Tuesdays. I was going to tend the geranium. I was going to be here, as fully as I can manage, for whatever the days bring. None of this changes because I now know the year. The year is in the future. The future is not here. Here is the coffee at the right temperature. Here is the geranium still red. Here is Rita who brings the coffee without asking. And the April light through the window. And all of it, all of the ordinary, inexhaustible ordinary, still here, still available, still giving what it gives. The year does not change this. The year confirms it.